in charge of running your team's weekly operational meeting, I'm going to give you some tips for how to do that much more effectively. You'll be everybody's favorite meeting chair. The first thing is to key in on the objective of a weekly meeting. The objective of a weekly meeting is to give everyone on the team the information, the context they need so that they can make the decisions they're responsible for the rest of the week, ideally without having to check in or slow their decision-making process down. So that's the purpose. Give them context about things going on across the organization, in their teammates' departments, so that they are well informed to own the things that they own and make those calls autonomously. It's also a great technique for, quick brainstorming or a place where you can have accountability for, are we moving forward and is there action? So those are the objectives of a really good weekly operational meeting. So therefore, how do you structure it? I don't like to have a lot of homework or preparation for weekly ops meetings. I think when you do that, some people have read the pre-reads and other people haven't, and it just loses that feeling of kind of working in the business. So instead, I try and make a weekly operational meeting very self-contained. I start with, as the chair of the meeting, you take control. Here's what this meeting is about. Here's what you need to understand. So if you got information from your boss, if there's information about things going on broadly in the organization, deadlines, priorities, those sorts of things, you start the meeting with that as context. Then a quick roundtable, a roundtable of about maybe 2 or 3 minutes per team member, depending on the size of the team. This is not the opportunity for them to justify their existence or to have a one-on-one with the boss that you haven't prioritized elsewhere in your week. This is a time for them to say, these are the things that you need to know, and importantly, these are the things I need to know from the rest of the team. As you go around those sorts of things, what do we need to know and what do you need to know from us? Those are the 2 questions for a great weekly roundtable. Then one of the things that really derails a weekly operational meeting is somebody in their roundtable says something and everybody goes woo, right down the rat hole. You start solving that issue right then and there, and that means you give short shrift to everybody else, and you don't know if that was the most important thing to get your attention. So it's really important when you're chairing a weekly meeting, do not allow anybody to deep dive on that roundtable phase. Use a timer, make sure we're at 2 minutes for everybody. And then in the third stage, what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, these were all the things that came up. Sally's looking for this from everybody, and you're going to prioritize. We can't get to all those things today. Which of them really suit a conversation right now? Which can we sort of knock off and solve? Some of them might actually need more time, more evidence, more preparation. You don't want to dive into those if you're not ready to have that conversation constructively. So in that prioritization, pick a couple of things where you can brainstorm, help somebody on the team, think about the implementation of something. Those are great things that suit that ad hoc conversation in a weekly meeting. Once you've done that, reserve 10% of your meeting time. So if you're in a 50-minute meeting, reserve 5 minutes to do what I call the meeting close. A great meeting close is really, really, really important. I've got a whole video on it that I'll link to. You can read about how to stick your landing in your meetings. But, quickly, it's to, project onto the screen. Here's the things that we all agreed to with who's doing what, to whom, for whom, by when, that kind of a thing. That issues log is really important. Secondly, any messages that we need to communicate. That's another really, really important thing to stop and say, are we all clear on who's telling what to whom? And then a final really valuable thing to put in your weekly meeting is to use it to collect agenda items for your longer monthly meetings. So there may be things that came up in the roundtable that you say, we aren't ready, we need a little more data, more information. Let's put that onto our monthly meeting. Or things where you've just started to see a systemic issue. This is the 3rd time we've had that supplier issue. Maybe in our monthly, we should, reopen the question of our supply chain, those sorts of things. So closing your meeting with an action log, communication commitments, and collecting agenda items, you'll find not only does that give you a great weekly meeting, it really improves the quality of your monthly meetings. So Definitely make sure you check out the video on how to close a meeting, but I also want you to take a look at how do you run that great monthly meeting.